I think at the time of my life, when I was 18 years old, John Carroll represented all of the path that I wanted to pursue at that point in life. Ali Kazamani had a ton to do with me coming here, as I had been coached by him for many, many years growing up through my youth. I knew that I was going to play a good game for him, and I knew that I would want to play for him. I'll never forget junior year. I had a lot of responsibilities at that point, and I know that I wouldn't have made it through that semester had it not been for some of the relationships that I've had or that I developed over here. Kazzy, he used to keep things really light before the game, like when we were getting on the bus and when we started getting out, he was joking and bantering. And the team all had good relationships with Kazzy before game time. He always had this kind of, I guess, his own personal way about going about it. He's like, you know, when I used to play, 45 minutes before the game, don't get in my way. And all of a sudden it got real kind of serious and intense. I mean, so he kept a really good balance in between just being the personable influence and then also being a great leader as a coach. Favorite memory on the field would easily be rewind back to the year 2000. That was the year that John Carroll made it to the OAC finals. It was historic for the program because that's the first time we ever made the NCAA tournament. I mean, that was about the most hard-fought victory I've ever been a part of. Just, I mean, grueling. And to see that we had to put forth that type of effort to make history at the program. Life lessons, wow. I learned a lot about acceptance. And I think a lot of that had to do with not only my involvement with the team, but also my involvement as a resident assistant, residence life. And the biggest thing would probably be how to function and work as a team. Doesn't matter if you're talking about on the field, residence life, or school of business. That was one of the strongest values that Carroll instilled and inspired you to learn more about. And when you get beyond the books, beyond the tasks that you do at your job, what really matters the more is how well you can work with others. If you go back, there's three names that I'd like to mention right off the bat. Grant Mast, Phil Mansell, Paul Habrecht. So anybody listening to this may know that all three of those guys were goalkeepers that have made the John Carroll Hall of Fame. Okay? And I had the, I guess, luxury of having at least one of those guys in the goal behind me all 4 years I was here. Okay? It's easy to look good defensively if you've got a good goalkeeper behind you. Two names from the soccer program that I think really may have gone unrecognized over the years. Ernie Zajac and Keegan Schoen. These guys were two of the most hard-nosed marking backs that I ever crossed paths with. These guys caused chaos on other forwards. One person I'd like to thank on a personal note, and I guess an athletic note, would be my best friend, Brian Sefcik. He was with the team all 4 years while I was here. He caused a lot of chaos in the midfield, made a lot of great things happen. His friendship was one of the things that really made John Carroll for me. I mean, I can't really place words on how much the guy meant to me over anybody else. He'd be the one that I'd want to take the field with. I'd like to thank for just being on the field and great support would be people like Mike Papp, Jim Myers, Jeff Hunkley, Brian Cavalier, Todd Bradley, Chris Hansen, John Bowman, Brendan Werner, Dave LaRousse, Dave Bartulovich. All these guys, just names that were influential to me on the field while I was here. Again, I'd like to thank Dejan Milivanovic. It's an absolute pleasure and an honor to be inducted here with him. I was about 5 years older than Decky, and I used to see him all the time when he was a younger kid. I just used to look at him and say, wow, here's this guy that's always smiling. How is this kid always so happy? And I just look at, and he's still smiling the same amount as he used to. So I'm like, wow, it's just kind of a natural thing with him. But I mean, I think that speaks volumes to how he's helped develop the program. I think the class of 2004, who all showed up at 2000, and I'd like to thank these guys because I think that was when the John Carroll program for soccer really just turned. That class was unbelievably talented. And they were really the impetus that pushed us through in that last Wilmington game. It was strong support from the seniors, but wow, amazing class. I think back to March when I originally got the call from Ski, and I was at work downtown. Brian, Ski called me out of the clear blue, and it was a huge surprise to me. Ski, it made it kind of magical. Ski and I, he's another Hall of Famer, and we actually lived down the hall, like 2 doors down, freshman year. And I was always, Ski, whether he knows it or not, he was like a pillar of stability. I was just sitting there and I talked with, and here's my old friend, a really good friend of mine from back in the day that delivers the sleeves. I just sat there and I went back and forth with him for about 30 minutes. And then I literally set the phone down and I just sat in that conference room all alone for probably 15, 20 more minutes. Just doing the Jesuit values and reflecting back on the times that I had while I was around. And it was just this unbelievable nostalgia trip. I was like, wow, all that effort that I put forth back in the day, and it's coming to this end culmination right here, right now. And to know that it was because some of the efforts that I had back in the day, that I gave back in the day, that helped the program develop where it is right now. It's a tremendous personal validation. So, big thank you.